Our next guest is co-founder and artistic director of Complexions Contemporary Ballet, and in his 3-decade-long career, 3 decades? No way. When you see him, you won't believe that. He's traveled the world performing with Alvin Ailey, the American Ballet Theater, and Ballet Frankfurt.
That's right. He's currently starring in After Midnight, a new Broadway musical with a score by Duke Ellington. And he's danced his way right up into a rise. Welcome, Desmond Richardson.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Danced your way up in here,
Yeah, that's right. We had to do a little something, a little jeté, as they say.
Little jeté. All right. Well, talk to us about your role in After Midnight and what drew you to the project.
My role in After Midnight is, my section is called The Mooch.
The Mooch.
Yes.
Ooh.
And it was a section of the, that was choreographed by Warren Carlyle, the director and choreographer, and they only had the music first. And then Warren said he wanted to see dance to it, so he thought of me for this particular part.
I wonder why. Well, the musical is set during the Harlem Renaissance era. Is that indeed correct?
The musical is set in the Harlem Renaissance era, kind of that era into this era as well.
Okay,
so we have
so
a lot
hybrid.
of, yeah, it's definitely a hybrid. The costumes are done by Ruben Toledo and Isabella Toledo.
Are you kidding?
That's correct.
Isabella Toledo, who designed for the
That's
First Lady
correct.
Michelle Obama
That's correct.
during the inauguration?
That's
the
right.
first inauguration?
Yeah.
Incredible.
And the costumes are really beautiful. Let's see, the sets are incredible. The lighting by Howell Binkley. I mean, it's a beautiful happening on the stage, and we're just looking for everybody to come on through.
And don't forget the music. The music I hear is very amazing. Fantasia
Well, come
headlines
on.
the show,
Come on.
right?
We cannot go wrong with the music of Duke Ellington and with Fantasia Barrino, who just, by the way, just I think she got 11 Grammy nominations.
Wow.
She
What's it
learned
like
yesterday.
working with her?
You know, she's a gem. She's really a gem, and part of our family. As this cast is actually, I don't know how it got us together, you know, but we're very blessed to have everybody together, and she's just part of our family, and it's a wonderful happening over there.
Wow. Well, what's it been like with the audience? I know it's performing every night, you know, and what's some of the responses been?
Well, we have been elated because every night has been a standing ovation.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going on. It's really nice that everybody's coming through and really having a good time. I think that's what it is. It's 90 minutes. No intermission, everybody's having a good time, listening to the music, enjoying the different acts that are up on the stage, and leaving the theater and having an opportunity to go have something to eat. How about that?
Yeah, because sometimes these shows are 3 hours,
For
3.5 hours.
For sure, yeah.
Now, the New York Times once called you one of the greatest dancers of your generation.
Wow.
What did that distinction mean to you?
That distinction meant, you know, it's a huge accolade. I think from thinking about my time in Laurelton, Queens, where I grew up, and thinking, oh my God, I would love to travel, but not knowing in this capacity, going around the world, performing in Paris and Russia and all of these places, and in Africa, I mean, it's incredible. So my career has been pretty amazing, and it continues to be, and I'm just elated that people they gravitate towards me, but I also feel like I'm a vessel. I feel like dance chose me, so I do what I do.
You do what you do.
I do what I do.
You mentioned growing up in Queens.
Yes.
And then you went to the High School of Performing Arts, which is AKA the Fame School.
That's correct, yeah. Gotta live forever.
But when did you know you wanted a life in dance?
When I was 11 years old, I saw a PBS documentary on Rudolph Nureyev and Margot Fonteyn, and it was their documentary of him sort of defecting into America. And I saw his prowess. I didn't know anything about dance. I just knew there was something, I liked the form, his sculpture, everything that he was doing. I didn't know what the terms meant, but I knew that I needed to know that information. And I was blessed enough to get into the school and had some really hard teachers who trained me very well in classical ballet, in modern, in jazz, in voice, in acting. So we had all of these things compiled into one.
Wow. Did you have a Debbie Allen type figure who
Oh,
just
for
whipped
sure.
you into shape?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Her name is Penny Frank, and she's in my life today. And so is Debbie as well.
Oh.
So, but to have a teacher that is pulling you in and making you see what you actually need to do and go for is everything.
Wow. Well, talk to us a little bit about your past, because in the 80s you were a principal dancer for Alvin Ailey, then in the 90s you went to the American Ballet Theater, and you were even nominated for a Tony in 1998 for Fosse.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience, and what were those early years like for you?
Well, the early years for me, I think, were pretty amazing. I mean, my first job was with Michael Jackson. I mean,
Wow.
he gave me my first job doing the Bad video when I was 17. So, because I came from a more hip hop, pop and
do that again. I see you.
Right.
Gotta teach you.
Well, I had to keep those things together.
Right.
So doing that,
So
and
were
then
you like, Bechamel?
yeah,
Wesley
I was
Snipes was in that video.
Yeah,
Really?
Martin Scorsese was a director.
directed.
And Wesley was on it. So
History.
Going from there to the Alvin Ailey Company and having work with Alvin Ailey himself and him choosing me out of the school and saying, listen, no, your path is going to be here for this time, and then him departing and going on. I knew that it was time for me to leave the Ailey Company and move on, and thus I moved over to Germany because I had trained classically in Germany. I had received these scholarships in Cologne, Germany, when I was a sophomore and junior in high school, and thus it gave me this opening to, European dance and all of the classicism and how things are done there. And so when this job opportunity came forth, I took it with William Forsythe with Frankfurt Ballet, and then moving on to ABT. They called me and asked me to come and be a principal member. I became the first African-American principal member since the inception of the company.
Wow.
And I didn't know that was happening.
You starred in Othello.
Yeah, I starred in
Come
Othello.
on.
Yeah, and that
That's
was
a
pretty
big
amazing
deal.
at the Metropolitan Opera. So to have this look out in the audience and to see the audience be so vast and diverse due to this happening at the Met was pretty amazing. So that's an experience I will never forget.
You know, people think about civil rights pioneers, and they think about, people marching on Washington, or
Right.
sitting at sitting in the back of the bus, or
Right.
refusing to sit in the back of the bus. But do you understand when you're called to do things like that it's equally as important?
I do.
Okay.
And it's very important because it's like what my mom said. I don't wear it. It is apparent. It's with me because it's not a negative view. It's something that I feel very honored. I'm climbing on the shoulders of others, and if I can shed some light on what it is that African Americans do in this high society, if you will, of dance, it's everything. So I'm just blessed and honored to be a part.
Wow. And now you're helping pay it forward with your own company, Complexions.
Yes.
Tell us why you decided to start it and how it's different from others.
Well, Complexions Contemporary Ballet was started in 1994 by myself and Dwight Roden, another colleague from Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. And he's the sole choreographer, and I became the muse of his work. And I was watching him just do interesting choreography on the side, outside of rehearsals, and I was like, man, I want to learn that. And so he thus began working on materials on me, and it just started building from there. We started working with other people. Did a concert in 1994. It sold out to 866 seats at the Symphony Space Theater on 95th. And we're 19 years in.
My goodness. You have to see them perform. It's a great show, great show. And you're at the Joyce Theater.
Joyce Theater opens November 14th at the Joyce Theater for 2 weeks, and there's 2 different varied programs. And these young dancers are pretty phenomenal, and they're from all over the world, and I look forward to everybody getting a chance to see them.
How do you maintain longevity in a business that's so physically demanding?
Interesting question, and I pause because, it's about taking care of yourself. It's really about taking care of yourself. Listen, I'm in my mid-40s, and I just take care. I try to eat right and really maintain my physicality. And that's the thing that has worked for me. And I think it will work for many people. It's just that part, being physical. Some sort of form of physicality helps every day.
Now, I know you were a choreographer on So You Think You Can Dance,
Yeah.
but what do you make of all these other dance competition shows, these reality shows? Do you think it's given a great opportunity for people, or it's taken away from the real talent?
I think it's an amazing opportunity right now to have this much dance on TV. At this particular time, 2 hours of dance on So You Think You Can Dance. There's Dancing with the Stars. There's this thing. I mean, and it's wonderful. What it's doing is it's inspiring people. I mean, I wish that it was around when I was that young, but I'm glad I had PBS. But now the young people have all of these shows to say, well, I want to go in that direction, maybe commercial, maybe I want to do concert dance. And then it's getting the information. It's all information.
I love the way you point.
Expression.
Yeah.
Expression.
You gotta have that expression.
Yeah. Okay, so what's
Sure.
next for you? Last question.
What's next for me? I have a new movie coming out called Fall to Rise in spring of January. I think it's in spring. Yes, 2014.
Okay. 2014.
And I'm also hosting the PBS show called Larry Rosen's Jazz Roots, in which I have a improv with Bobby McFerrin and these great jazz musicians, Dave Grusin and Mark O'Connor and Chick Corea and Terrence Blanchard. It's pretty amazing. So that's coming out January 14th, 2014.
Well, until then, we'll look forward to seeing you on Broadway.
On Broadway.
After
You got
midnight.
it. After midnight, man.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
You're watching Arise Entertainment 360.